Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of P&M's Movie Criticisms. I'm Miss M.
And I Miss P.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us. If you're new here, thank you so much for coming and joining us. Please sit back and relax and enjoy the ride. And if you're not new, hey, family, friends, thank you for joining us again. You know we always love to have you. So, Miss P,
Yes.
do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is?
No, yeah, I know what time it is.
Ah, great. All right, I'm ready. I am ready. Let's go.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Mm.
Uh, Come on, Miss P. You know we can't move on past this part of the episode with.
Let's give the people what they want, I guess.
Hey, we have heard some fans, a lot of our fans, and they're into it. They'll be disappointed. Come on, Miss P.
You don't need no hype. You better hype yourself up. You don't need no hype. You better hype yourself
Yeah,
up. You don't need no hype. You better
yeah,
hype
yeah,
yourself up.
yeah, yeah. Yo, P&M movie criticisms got the hot sauce. P&M movie criticisms, P&M movie criticism with the hot sauce. P&M movie criticisms. Sis, P&M, 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 P&M movie criticisms. Bringing you the hot sauce, telling you everything that's hot and everything that's not. Isn't that right, Miss P?
Mm-hmm.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, do we have a film review for you today? Oh gosh, boy, do we? Oh my goodness. Miss Miss B, can you tell everybody what we will be reviewing tonight?
We are bringing the 2025 newest movie called Bring Her Back.
Bring Her Back. Yeah, that's right. We just got done watching this beautiful movie. and yeah, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to rate this movie. Please let me explain to you how we rate things. We have P and M movie criticisms hot sauce chart at the top. There's nothing better. There's nothing, and nothing hotter than the Carolina. This film has everything. This film is just gold, Oscar and platinum. It's just everything you want in a movie. Beneath that, we have the Ghost Pepper. It is an amazing movie, but it's just missing an element that prevents it from being a Carolina Reaper. Beneath that, you have the Habanero. It's spicy and you like it, your family liked it, you had a good time, but nothing too serious, right? Beneath that, you have the jalapeno. The jalapeno is, well, meh, I didn't really enjoy it, it was meh. And beneath that, you have the bell pepper. It's good for cooking, some seasoning, adding some pepper, but there's no hotness to it at all. It's just bland. And it leaves you feeling angry, much like you want your money back. So, with that being said, Miss P, how do you rate Bring Her Back?
I'm gonna give it a habanero.
A habanero. 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 You know what? Miss P, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm thinking a habanero.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Habanero. Habanero. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just really trying to think about this movie. I'm still thinking about it. While I'm thinking about it, Miss P, can you please bring us through our Pina movie criticisms criteria because you know we have to justify our rating for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 9, do we like it or do we love it? Number 8, is it historically accurate? Number 7, did it strike my emotion? Number 6, did it keep my attention? Number 5, the production elements. Number 4, the directing. Number 3, the quality of acting. Number 2, the sound quality and effects. And number 1, cinematography. Do 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 do. My favorite thing.
Boom, boom, boom. You know it. You know it. So yeah, this movie is directed by the twins, Danny Filippo, Michael Filippo. They go back to YouTube from Raka Raka. They are the writers and the directors of Talk to Me. Miss P, can you talk more about that? Because I have not seen that movie. Talk to me.
Oh, I have. Okay.
Talk to me. Talk to
So
me.
basically, that movie premise is about dealing with grief, death, everything. Same kind of vein, but just same side of a different coin. This is a whole totally different aspect of grief. Um, Talk to Me was more or less
Mm.
like they gave the hand, there was a hand and there was like, if you touch it, you can see dead people and you can talk to them, but you can only do it for 90 seconds. And if you do it more than that, then, bad things start to happen. Well, they do, and then bad things start to happen.
Yeah, definitely. The Filippo brothers, that movie definitely resonated with a lot of people, and people are like, "Oh, wow, that's a really good movie. That's what's up." People in the film industry, they're like, "Yeah." So the Filippo brothers are on the map. They're doing their thing. People do want a sequel to Talk to Me, but the Filippo brothers strongly felt like they wanted to do Bring Her Back. And A24, the production studio, they're like, okay, so yeah, okay, it's not that they're not going to do a Talk to Me 2 or a sequel, but they just really wanted to do this and they really like this premise. So let's give a synopsis of this. Synopsis is basically you have two siblings. You have a big brother and a little sister. The little sister she's not fully blind, so she's partially sighted. And she can only really see her vision is just all types of just blurry. She can probably make out some colors and some shapes, but other than that, that's about it. And unfortunately, they come home from school, or rather, her big brother picks her up from school. They arrive home and find their father dead, and then they end up in the system with a foster mother. Isn't that wonderful? And the foster mother her name is Laura. She's played by Sally Hawkins, and some weird stuff goes down. That's pretty much it. Am I missing anything?
No, no, Miss M, you're not missing anything really. But that's the synopsis. But let's deep dive. Let's deep dive.
Deep dive. All right, let's do a deep dive. I guess the only way to do a deep dive is to go through the criteria.
Mm-hmm. Do you like it?
So, do you like it or do you love it, Nick?
Um, I am in the
Ah,
middle. I'm definitely in the middle. I like it and I don't like it at the same time. I don't love it. I don't. It leaves me feeling kind of in in the middle.
yeah, same. Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same way. I don't like it. I mean, I don't, but I don't know if I like it either. It's just for me, it was a lot going on. I mean, if you could have seen my face during the entire thing, you would have been watching me in my facial expressions in the movie at the same time. It was yeah. Yeah. That yeah, sometimes you have no words for
I mean,
yeah.
it kind of left you kind of. just breathless a little bit because you're just like, "Are you serious right now? Like, this can't be real life," but it is. So you got to work with what you're given. Is it historically
Yeah.
accurate? I have no idea because I don't know the background of this kind of stuff. There's some occult stuff going on, so I don't divulge into the occult. That's not my forte, so I don't know. Miss M?
Yeah, I don't. Cult. Don't ask me. I'm the furthest thing away from a cult. I stay away from cult. Anything that looks like a cult, smells like a cult, feels like a cult. I don't mess with them. but, but it literally said cult in the beginning of the film, like it's CULT. Cult. And I was like, oh. Then there's this picture of a white ring and a lone single girl just sits there in the middle, crouched down and everything. And I was like, okay. In the beginning, Miss P was like, do you see anything? And I was like, no, no. And then I was like, oh, okay. It was just blackness for a little bit. It made us question, okay, I think this is being done on purpose. And that's when you see Colton, you see the girl, the lone singular girl, sitting there in the middle of that circle. And then there's just that weirdness. And the thing is, I guess we would have to talk about cult and the things that cults have you do, like, drinking things like punch that you really shouldn't be drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, cults.
Yes, they do. But here's what it is. Did it strike my emotions? Heck yeah. Because this movie, like I don't wanna deeper dive, but we probably will. But did it strike my emotions? Yes. On all levels, yes. Even the cringy ones, yes. It struck my emotions. It hit a nerve, not in a satisfying way, more or less like, oh no, oh no, 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 no. That's how it struck my emotions. What about you, Miss M?
Oh, yeah, it struck my emotions and my head. I'm not a queasy person. I take gore pretty well. I'm kind of like that person who, in a film, I'm in the audience sitting there, and then something crazy happens and really scary, and everybody's screaming, and I'm looking at the movie screen like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening. Ugh. But I'm not gonna be physically jumping or audibly screaming, you know? It's just not how I roll. But yeah, it struck my emotions as in what the beep? Like, did you have that
I
moment?
had a lot of those moments. Like I was like, no, this can't be happening. What? Oh my goodness, well it's happening. We took it to the extreme. Oh my lord.
Yeah, you know how Miss P is always complaining
Oh.
about the movies that I haven't watched. So Miss P chose this movie.
Oh, yes. Yes,
And I'm
and I will wear it with a badge of honor because it's still not Mad Max Furiosa. It's still not what's the other one that I don't like
You don't
either?
like the dead don't
Oh,
die?
yeah, The Dead Don't Die. I didn't like any of those horrible ones. So my whole issue is this right here. What did we watch and why did we watch it? But you have to remember this whole thing, this whole movie centers around, and for those of you who are tuning in, thank you for tuning in. We are talking about the film Bring Her Back.
Mhm.
Okay, so what it's the most haunting thing is it's about this movie is about grief and it's about how it stays with you. It's about how it shows up
Yeah.
in different forms at different times, how it can control you, how it can affect you, how it can affect others around you because you didn't process the grief that you had while you were in your grief.
Yeah, that's what it's about. And it's about how not to handle grief. Okay? For those of you who have lost loved ones, for those of you, I mean, if you keep living, there's going to be somebody close to you that will pass away. I mean, that's just the nature of life. A great grandparent, a grandparent, a sibling or a father, a friend, a really close friend. This happens. This is how you don't deal with it. Rule number one, do not go to an occult. Rule number 2, do not pick up a book that says Book of the Dead. Rule number 3, don't read from that book. But if you listen to rule number 2, we don't have to go to rule number 3, right? So let's just go to number 4. Rule number 4, don't commit murder. Rule number 5, don't do soul purging. Rule number 6, go to a licensed psychologist for help. Okay? Seek mental health, okay? Support and go to your family if you have them, but not to an occult. This is what I learned from watching this movie.
Well, what I learned was this: grief. It might turn you into something else that you don't want to turn into while biting your skin off and killing everybody else and biting your, I mean, making your teeth jaggedy and pointy. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I understand
Well,
the
yeah.
vision that they were going for, but did it strike your emotions?
Ah, yeah, as in what the yes.
Okay.
Yes, it
Did it
did.
keep your attention?
So much so that my head had a little thing going on and like my head, it feels weird, man. It feels weird. A really good attention to detail though. You know, they did the whole so in this movie, I forgot to say like in the synopsis that there's a little boy. They call him Ollie. The little boy is awkward from the jump. Like from the very beginning, you know something's off about this child. But it's not just the child, it's the foster mom, Miss P. Do you remember how she went to the funeral?
Yes, she had on purple. Like, think about 80s. Think about 80s horror movies, right? Think about bad perm, up in a ponytail, purple on, and she's trying to make the son kiss the dad on the lip.
On the lip.
A dead body. He's 17, mind you. She's trying to make a 17-year-old kiss his dead father. And then what you don't see is when he turns around, she takes a piece of his hair and she cuts it from the dead father and then she puts it in her purse. Creepy. Just all kinds of weird and creepy stuff going on. The plot was good. It was flawlessly written. I think it was written very well. I didn't like the VHS aspects because it didn't add anything to the movie. It kind of took away because I feel like if they would have left out all that VHS, her watching the VHS tape to try to figure out what to do and all that kind of stuff, if they would have left that out and did more writing or more visual things, there, it would have made for a better movie for me. But it did have a beginning, it did have a middle, and it did end, right? So it did do that. There were no questions
It
left.
did.
I mean, at the end, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but there really were no questions left unanswered.
True. Very true. The story arc is strong. I will say that. I agree with you, Miss P. The story arc is strong. I'm not gonna give too much. I would have liked to have seen some more development. But I'm realizing, I would have liked to have seen Andy do more development, but there are reasons why that doesn't
But
happen.
he does. He does. He
Um,
does. And I'll explain if you would like me to deep dive into that right there.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, he does. It's just for me. I don't feel like there's a full character arc, but please deep dive into Andy,
Okay,
please.
here we go. Andy starts off as a raggedy kid. He's 17. He's almost like he's driving. He's not the best driver. His car's falling apart. He tries to duct tape the side mirror back onto his car. And he's a raggedy kid. He finds his father dead. That automatically stunts you right there. You walk, you have to jimmy the
Yeah.
lock to go in to find your father dead on the shower, like the shower floor. Okay. So picture it. You have somebody dead on the shower floor. It's steamy in there. Your sister goes and runs and lays on her dead father while the water's running.
And that's CPR.
The mom played, she was a narcissist. She was a narcissist. She was a covert narcissist because she kept doing things to him that nobody else saw because his sister's blind, right? Can't see. She's just
Yeah.
physically doing stuff to him, doing stuff over and over and over to him to make him feel like he's going crazy until she pushes him to the point where he reacts. Then he hits the wall and he punches through the wall, but her head was right there and she's going to scream out and holler like he hit her in the face to make his sister turn again. She was trying to build that wedge from day one.
Yeah, she
So
was.
you have to remember, here's the deep dive, right? He did have a character arc. He went from
Mhm.
being a whiny little kid to, oh my gosh, I have to protect my sister. At any cost, by any means, I have to protect my sister. He was like,
But he was always that
no,
way.
no, no, no. He was like that. He lied to her a lot. By the middle of the movie, he stopped lying to her. You have to remember.
Yeah, because
You have to remember, he stopped lying to her in the middle of the movie. Why did he stop lying?
he had to.
No, he didn't.
Because that woman was crazy.
Yes,
He had to. She was crazy. She was gonna get them both killed. He had no choice. He literally had no
but
choice.
see,
It was either tell her the truth or they were gonna
but
die.
that's the character arc. He stopped lying. He stopped being all that extra and doing all that extra stuff. And what happened? Yeah,
Ah,
I'm not gonna spoil it, but you
some
see what
B.
happened to him. But he told the truth. Like he
Yeah.
had a good character arc because he made the other social worker believe him. He brought her out there.
He did his due diligence.
Yes. So he did his, I mean, he did have a character arc. I mean, it's not necessarily the best or the strongest, but it was a character arc nonetheless.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I wish there was more of an arc for Andy.
Or he
Yeah,
has one.
but you're well, he does have an arc, but I really would have appreciated it more for
But
Andy.
you,
That's it, because I liked his character.
yeah, but you can't get more from a person that has done everything that they can. There was nothing else that he could have done.
Anything's possible in film.
Huh?
Anything is possible in film. Anything is possible. It's up to the writer.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
You
You
know,
can't always have the hero. And notice how the hero this time was the girl and not the boy. Usually it's the boys, but the hero was the girl. So just keep that in mind.
I would say it's both. I would say it's both. I would say that Andy started the wake up process for his little sister Piper. I think he started it because, if everything just hit the fan, Piper wouldn't have understood what was going on because she can't see.
Yeah, but she asked
All she
questions.
knows,
She said, "What color's Ollie's hair?"
you can't believe Laura, her foster mother. She just lies. She's a narcissistic, manipulative liar. A liar. She was truthful with her, but it's only because she wanted to bring her back. She was doing that weird stuff. But, could you imagine if Piper didn't have Andy speaking in her ear when she came home from her eyesight impairment class, whatever those are called? She would have been thrown through a loop, because she has Ollie's walking by. She doesn't know it's Ollie. Only thing she can see is a shadow. She just knows somebody walked by because there's a shadow. She doesn't know what's going on with Ollie though. Like, oh my
No, but she
gosh.
finally touched his
This is
head.
she did. She did touch
Mhm.
him. Ugh, goodness gracious, that one. Now, speaking of character arcs and everything else, um because you have Andy, he's played by Billy Barrett, and Piper, his little sister, is played by Sarah Wong, and then you have Ollie, who's played by Jonah Ren Phillips. Hey Jonah, hey Billy, hey Sora, and Laura's played by Sally Hawkins. And so, like Jonah has a very full character arc. Sad, but it's a full character arc. But not just a full character arc. It's, I would say, on the stronger side. I would say Ollie's character arc is stronger than Andy's.
Yes, because the film was halfway based around him too. So yeah, his character arc is going to be because he's the main person technically.
Yeah. So yeah, uh, that was it. And what do you think about Piper?
See, everybody's gonna do that whole thing where it's like, oh, poor Piper. Everybody was just trying to help her. No, Piper fought back. She did what she could. She couldn't see, but she beat that lady.
No.
She hit her in the she hit her in the head. You see what I'm saying? Like she did what she could.
What? Once she got clear of like those stumps in like the forest, because there's a house. Like imagine there's a house in the middle of a forest. There is still in civilization, but the thing is, there's a lot of trees, which means there's a lot of roots sticking up from the ground. There's a lot of things sticking up from the ground, and goodness gracious, that girl fell so many times and bumped her head. I was like, oh my gosh, no, Piper, get up, Piper, no.
But see, here's the thing:
Like,
you wanted to see her win. At the end of the day,
yes.
you wanted to see her win. You wanted to see her get up and go. I thought she had punctured her lung or something with the way that she fell the first time because I
Oh
thought
goodness.
she fell on a tree stump that was pointy and pointed up, but she didn't. She fell beside it.
What? You take away those roots from the trees and you clear her path and she's gone like Flojo.
Yeah, she wasn't playing. She ran. I mean, and she ran out in front of a car.
She's
I'm
like a
glad
big
that
boat.
that the car stopped.
Yeah, that too. And so, but anyway, this movie, it's one of those movies that it captures your attention and it's gonna keep your attention and it's gonna it's gonna keep it. I don't feel like don't watch this movie before you go to bed, not because it's scary, but because it's just that shock factor. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, you need to watch something else before you go to bed, help settle the mood, mellow you down out and everything. This isn't the movie for that. This movie is just it's like whoa. It's like that, like whoa. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say about it. You want to move on to production
Sure
elements?
do.
Okay, so production elements. This movie had a of $15 million. In its opening week, it made $7 million. The movie's only really been out for a week. It looks like it's not going to be a flop. Pretty sure it's going to make they're definitely going to make a profit. I've seen some reviews like some, but I was like, I don't like reading reviews. Because I'm giving a review, and I don't like to be influenced. Okay. The moment I see that title, I go up. Bye. I just want to know about production elements and things like that. So far it seems to be pretty favorable. So it's definitely worth a watch if you're not into gore, if you're not into that shock factor, if you're not into that whole cult. There's some weird stuff that goes on in that VHS videotapes. I do have one question about that. Who made a how to bring a person back video from the dead
Like I said,
on a VHS?
cults do weird
Yeah.
things, and I can't speak for cults, but that's what it was. It was a cult movie. Production wise, it's not doing too well. Like it did well across the board, like overseas, and it came over here. And it's not necessarily the best because people, I think they were expecting like another Talk to Me type of feel, and it's not. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this movie. It's weird. I don't know. So I could see where people would kind of stray away from it.
Yeah, and the child actor, I was reading about him, Jonah Ren Phillips, about how I remember him. I was like, where did I see him from? And I saw him from Jonah Ren Phillips. He plays Ollie, and I remember seeing him, but I didn't remember. I looked at his IMDb, and then I saw he's from Sweet Tooth. Did you see Sweet Tooth?
Probably not. Mm-mm. That doesn't sound like something I would watch.
Really?
Hmm.
Yeah, you should watch it.
No, no, thank you.
Why? It's a dystopian world where sickness comes as a mysterious sickness, and everybody's babies are being born as pretty much hybrid animal, human animal hybrids.
Hybrids?
And sweet, yeah. Well, I see hybrids.
Yes.
You can say hybrids, tomato tomato, right? So like you can and then their sweet tooth is a deer. Okay, and he's like a human animal hybrid of like a deer, and he's the key. His blood, but it's not just him. It's all of his kind that their DNA can cure the sickness that has pretty much killed like over 90% of the human population in the world. So all of the older generations, they have to choose which cup they will drink from. Will they protect this new generation of human-like beings, or will they hunt them and murder them to have a cure for this plague? Anyways, I mean, I like the series Sweet Tooth, but Jonah Ren Phillips, he was in there for maybe one episode or two, and he had his hair then. He has long hair, or he had long hair. And I remember reading he said that he would never cut his hair. Never, never cut his hair. Okay? But when he was up for the role, he was looking at it and he said, "Let me look at the Filippo brothers." And he went on YouTube, he saw Raka Raka, and he saw their work, and he was like, "Wow, okay. Wow." And he wanted to work with them. So this little actor cut off his hair. And this little boy had a lot of hair. I mean, you talking past his shoulders to his armpit type of hair. And he cut it all off for this part because that's how much he likes the Filippo brothers in their work. And he doesn't even like horror movies. He said horror movies aren't even his type of thing. So yeah, that's about our little actor there.
Okay. So what do you think about the directing?
The director was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good, Miss P. It was pretty good. It wasn't. I mean, they got the details. There's definitely a lot of attention to detail, especially like when he's in the tub and then there's in a mirror. Anytime Ollie's caught in an image and he's caught in something that reflects or records, you see what he really truly is. I'm not gonna get into those details. You're gonna have to watch to find out, but you see what they're really dealing with, okay? The only thing I will say is it just looks like a little boy, okay?
Uh-huh.
Looks. Okay. So I like those little attentions, like those little tidbits, that attention to detail there. I like the chemistry between the actors Billy and Sora when they played siblings as Andy and Piper. They did give off that vibe to me. You know how I feel about chemistry between actors? Whether they're siblings, whether they're spouses, whether they're friends, best friends, that chemistry needs to be there. Otherwise, it's just going to be off. And they had a really good chemistry, I think. Um, and they did a really good job with Sally, like the way she dressed when she was at the funeral. Nobody dresses like that at a funeral. Nobody. And she was just sitting there like she was just as normal as could be, but you know she wasn't normal. Anybody who came to a funeral dressed like that, I'd be like, no, something's going on over there. just because, just because of the way she dresses. And then after the funeral, she was getting minors drunk.
Well, you have to remember, it's not in the US. This is not in the US. So they're allowed to drink, I want to say when they're 16 or 15, one of those.
Oh my god.
So
That's true. It's not in the United
mhm, so it's
States.
not in the United States where you have to drink when you're 21. This movie, I think, it wasn't English. It was like it was somewhere. It was filmed somewhere else. But they were younger, and you can drink in overseas. But this is what the issue was for me. It's a lot of dualities going on. You have the brother sister duo. You have their stepbrother and sister anyway, but they had a tight bond at the beginning. You had the duality of them watching their father die, which stunted them in a way. You had the stepmother with the fake stepson that she kidnapped. You have a lot of dualities going on because you have stepbrother, stepmother, or foster mother, right? You have because Andy told her, I resented my sister because my dad preferred my sister over me. She played on that. That's why I said covert narcissist. She played on that. And then when she hit her in the eye and made it seem like he did it, covert narcissist. That was some of the best, like not even acting. That was just some of the best directing. Like do this, but some of it's reactive. Like if you get hit in the face while you're sleeping, you're gonna wake up and start screaming, right? You're gonna be like, ow,
Hmm.
ow, and that whole scene got built up and it was so intense. He punched a hole in the wall. You see what I'm saying? And she acted like he was abusing her. And so his blind sister is gonna scream out, no, stop. Don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. Because she was making her feel like she was her friend, like her mom. You see? She was making her
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
that. And so that was some of the best directing slash acting that I've seen in a long, long time. Even though this is a horror movie, like this is definitely a slasher gore type of movie. And it's not a lot of jump scares, but the parts that are scary, they do scare you because you're not expecting it. You're not expecting it. It's
Yeah.
worth the watch just because if you really like gore or horror or psychological horror, this would be good for you. If you really enjoy psychological horror, this is good because it's talking about grief. You have just different things going on and it's not hard to see it. So was the directing
It's true.
fire? Yes. I love the directing. Like, is it gonna win an Oscar? No, probably not. No. But is it one of the best horror movies for 2025? I would have to say Sinners is first for me. This would be a close, like, I'm not gonna say two, but I would say top 15. Top 15.
Yeah.
It's in my top 15 for 2025 because 2025 has not put out any bangers, like any real bangers.
No, not really. Only Sinners.
Yeah.
And then bring her back. You're definitely gonna see the Filippo brothers again. They've entered the film industry, and I think it's safe to say they're here to stay if they keep making movies like this, and I think they will because yeah, the Filippo brothers, and yeah, it's one of those. It's all I have to say about it because I'm honestly still digesting it. It's I can't say it's scary.
It's not.
It's like she said that it's not jump scary. It's just that supernatural, occultic, psychological horror type of film that's like you got transported into the Twilight Zone, if you know what I'm talking about, because technically the Twilight Zone is before both of us were born, so I don't know how many of you know about the Twilight Zone and the Rod Sterling. But it's like you got transported to this weird place where people cope with grief in the wrong way. And I think as far as the directing, I think a lot of people don't understand just how far people will go just to get their way. And I think this film talks about it with death. Like, she went so far to make Andy seem like he's going crazy, and then he goes to the social workers. He's trying to talk about her, and the social worker's like, "But yeah, you're peeing in the bed." And I'm like, "Whoa. What does that have to do with overt violence though?" You know? But she's literally this woman is I don't think it's a spoiler. I don't know. I
She
don't
has
know.
everybody fooled.
She's
She has everybody fooled. From her friend social worker to the kids. She has everybody fooled. She's
everybody.
keeping a secret hidden and frozen away. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
And people just don't see it. It just reminded me of Ted Bundy. You know, just keeping up appearances. As long as you kept up that appearance, and if you know about Ted Bundy, you know that even when he went to court the first time, he got off. He's charming. He's good looking. Come on. No way in the world this guy could have done that, but he did. He kept doing it. Imagine what, as a narcissist, how that went to his head. Because again, if you know more about Ted Bundy, you know he started off by stealing little things. He didn't just become a murderer. He just started doing little things bit by bit. And when he realized nobody was gonna see him, when he realized he could fly beneath the radar, when he realized everybody would just assume he's just such a stand-up guy, he started stealing more and more, bigger and bigger, and soon his thefts gave way to murder. Because now he was like, now I know for sure I can get away with murder. And the first time going to court, he did. This is what Laura, the foster mom, reminds me of.
Well, she reminds me of a covert narcissist. It's because they do stuff. It's reactive abuse. They do stuff to you that only you can see. Only you know that they're doing it. And then when you try to tell somebody else, they don't believe you because they know that that person is such a good person and they're not going to harm you and they're not going to bother you.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. Yeah, huh. Yeah, yeah. That woman will go down in if this movie were real, she would go down in history for all the wrong reasons. And that's all I'm saying.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm done with number 4. What about you?
I'm done with number 4. Let's keep on moving. Directing, we already talked about that. Quality of acting, we basically talked about that too. Um,
Pretty much.
Sound quality and effects. The sounds were good. Like the music was random because I don't speak whatever language that was, but they were all singing and drunk and talking and she kept making him feel like he peed on himself. Like I don't know what that was about. But I feel like that's some reactive abuse.
And incompetence. Not just like incompetence of the bladder, but it's kind of like she wanted to materialize, manifest the incompetency of a teenager. And if you really think about it, what's one of the best ways to say that a teenager is incompetent? That right there.
Wet in the bed.
Wetting the bed. Look at him. He's a 17-year-old boy wetting the bed. Digression. We're looking at digression and being incompetent. This is how immature he is. This is like you said before that he's stunted. This was physical for her, for Laura. This was physical proof eh, for her. Again, but bang up job, Sally, for your portrayal of Laura. That was gosh. Ugh.
And let me see.
Goodness gracious.
Sound qualities and effects.
Oh, and the blood? How did you feel about him? And especially like the blood and the gore.
How did I feel about whom?
No, the blood and the gore. I thought it looked real.
Oh, it looked very real. Especially when she peeled back her I was done. I was done. I was like, "Mm-mm. No, thank you. No, thank you."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Ugh, 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 ugh. The very fact that I go ugh means Well done. Well done. You Usually I'm so glad I finished my snack earlier in the movie. Okay.
'Cause, oh my god.
Because that was
That like I feel like the visual effects they did get nominated for cinematography, I do believe. Because when he was chomping that wood, honey, and his teeth was just splintering and coming out, I was like, yeah, yeah, that.
yeah. Yeah, 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 that, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, ew, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Yeah, you want to talk about cinematography?
I thought it was wonderful, actually. Excuse Miss M because she's really having trouble processing this whole thing because it's a lot. Like this movie is a lot. Like it's only an hour and 37 minutes, which is pretty good runtime. But she is just processing because even me, after I watch it, I said to myself, "Oh my goodness." I was like, "This is a movie about grief." Every film that they have made so far has been about grief. And what happens if grief
Yeah,
is if grief is left unchecked? If you don't
it can destroy
Yes,
you.
and if you don't deal with it, it will lurk around, it'll be there and it'll destroy you and others around you at the end of the day.
It really will, and it really will, and I have seen people. I have lost both of my parents, and at a time in my life, I had all of my parents into adulthood and well into adulthood, I would say. But everybody my age and my family and friends, they still have their parents. So compared to them, I lost my parents quite early. But this is not how you deal with grief, okay? And I have seen people that I love not handle grief well, and I have seen it destroy them. Do not let grief destroy you, and make no mistake, grief can come in different ways. Grief doesn't always happen because someone died. It can be like an analogy of something. Like, for example, like maybe a relationship died, okay? And you're mourning the death of a relationship you had with a lover, a wife, a husband, okay? Do not let that grief destroy you. It could be maybe your dream job. You've got it and then it's gone. There's that type of grief too. Don't let it you just can't let it take you. Is You have to, it is one of those things, having experienced death from multiple relatives that I've loved, and even death of relationships. The only thing that I can say, if we're talking about it and giving advice, is not realistic to say move on in a way where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna forget about this person and go. No. Do you have to move on with your life? Yes, you do. But you just can't move on like that person, those experiences that shaped you were never there. When it comes to true love, and don't mistake true love from false love. And like somebody just loves you because of the way you look. Somebody just loves you because you give them money. I'm talking about true love. When you have to grieve a person that truly unconditionally loved you, you can never move on from that. But what I can tell you is that whoever those people are, they want you to be fruitful, they want you to prosper, and they want you to thrive. So continue and do your best. And with each passing day, it will get better. And that's what I have to say about grief.
Now see, I can't follow that up. So I'm gonna say same thing she said. Boom.
Yeah, and Yeah, and our cinematographer is the name of our cinematographer is Aaron McLiskey. Aaron McLiskey. Hey Aaron, what's up? Like your cinematography. That was pretty good. And the composer Cornell Wilczek and editor Geoff Lamp. Since we're doing all of that, let's just do that too. Tell us more about that cinematography, Miss P.
Well, it was different because you have to pay attention. See, the way that my mind works is when I watch something, I look at everything from every angle to see if I'm missing something. Even when I'm watching it, like you can't get too involved. You have to look around and see what's in the background, like what's going on. If you pay attention, the first thing we see is the viewpoint from Piper. She can't see. The first viewpoint that we get, where's your stick? Why aren't you using your stick? I don't want to. That's embarrassing. She tries to talk to those girls. When she walks into the house, she can't see her dad, but she knows that he's right there, so she lays on his chest. After he goes to the she goes to the drawer to get the knife so he can jiggle the handle, you know? But when she first walks into the crazy lady's house, all you can really see is everything's fuzzy in the camera. Did you notice? Everything was really fuzzy and you couldn't really see anything.
Mm-hmm.
All you could see was shapes and colors. You couldn't see,
Yeah,
everything was out of focus and you couldn't really see. That's what she sees.
true.
And,
That's
and
true.
so the cinematography did a great, when I say a great job of making us see how she sees, hands down, one of the best I've seen in a long time.
It definitely is, and there's a lot of rain, a lot of water in this movie,
And a lot of foggy
and
windows and foggy showers.
yeah, yeah, and water in this movie in no way means rebirth,
Nope.
not at all. Well, Miss P, that's all I have to say.
And that's all I have to say. I'm not gonna upgrade, but a habanero is where I stand. Firm-footed, staying
Yeah,
jalapeno.
habanero.
I mean, habanero. Excuse me.
Habanero. Yeah, I'm sticking with the habanero too. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie is worth the watch. Go ahead and watch it if you haven't seen it. Watch it. If you have any questions about it after you watch it, let us know. If there's something else you want us to review, there's a lot of movies out here coming out. Like, guess what? Lilo and Stitch is out and the kids love it.
Oh my goodness.
Karate Kid is out. uh, yeah. So,
But here's the
comment,
thing, 18 plus.
subscribe.
This movie is for 18-year-olds and plus.
Oh yeah, 18-year-olds. Yeah, don't have your 12-year-old watch this. They will have nightmares.
Uh-huh.
They will they will have nightmares, especially because Ollie is he's like
He looks like he's
he's
8, to be honest.
he he is, but he's on the verge of tweendom. You know, he's like on the cusp of it. Don't. This would be horrifying. What happens to this child is horrifying, and it will mess your kids up for a little bit. Enough for them to just like come into your space and sleep with you for like, I don't know, the next few weeks.
So yeah, don't allow your children to watch this.
Not at all. Not at all. Unless you want extra company in your bedroom and while you're showering and when you want all of your alone time. Okay. Which you have little to none of as a parent anyway, so it's gonna all be gone, I promise you. Don't do not. Do not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, start a chat with us. We would love to chat with you. Hey, I'm Miss M. Thank you for listening, and I'm about this piece.
And I'm Miss P. Bye.
See y'all later.